Hey everyone, Jared here, and today I am standing next to my most recent purchase. So this is a Kubota 4-in-1 bucket that I picked up at an auction this past weekend, and we're not going to be able to do much with it. I'm not going to be able to show you really how it works. It is still winter here in Ohio, and even though the sun is shining, it is cold, and the ground's not quite froze, and it is very, very muddy, very soft, very wet. So we're not going to get to use this today, but we're going to unload it. We are going to change the couplers on it, change it over to match what I have on my third function, and then I'll give you an overview of the bucket and show you what its intended purposes are and why I chose to buy it. So let's hop in the tractor and try to get this guy out of the bed without hurting the truck. And one of the reasons why I bought this bucket is it doesn't look like it got a lot of use. I'm guessing with the big sticker there that maybe it was a rental unit, but you could tell by looking at the cutting edge, I mean, it doesn't have really hardly any wear, and not even all the paints were off yet. The only real damage is these little metal rings that hold the hoses in place are kind of bent, so I'm going to have to tuck the hoses back in and bend these back into place, as well as I got to do something with where these hoses come out. I don't, with them facing down the way they are, might be okay, but I need to, I definitely need to figure something else out. I don't know if those are swivels or not, but it was in the way of me trying to get the QA plate up here to it and being able to latch my levers from inside the tractor. Some of the hoses have a little bit of wear, but honestly, I'm not going to worry about that to start with. Those are all just really just outside surface wear. So as long as it's not leaking, I'm going to leave them there probably at least for the rest of this year. But well, the first things we got to do is remove these and change them over to flat face to fit my third function. So let's do that first and see what kind of fluid comes out of here as well. Got the torpedo heater on in the background, so that's what you are hearing. Like I said, it's cold, and I don't feel like working in the cold right now. I don't think these freaking hoses have swivels anywhere. That's what makes them a pain to fight with. It really doesn't look bad. This one's got a zip tie on it. The one with the zip tie is the top of the cylinder. Yeah, stuff's really not bad. I don't think I'm going to worry about opening this up all the way and fighting with it. Almost made a boo-boo there. Little bit of Teflon tape was on the fitting, and I almost knocked it down inside. Not good. I would say these must be replacements aftermarket, because they are, pretty sure they are like 6,000 PSI. I could be wrong. Maybe that's what they put on there, but they're brands I don't recognize coming from Kubota. So these are the fittings I run. I will put a link to them down in the description. But they are flat face couplers. They're easier to connect. If there happens to be any pressure, they're obviously easier to keep clean. You just wipe them. There's no, little reservoir sunken in place that you got to worry about cleaning out. and they're standard for most rental places and skid steers and stuff. So that's why I run them. I really like these as opposed to the other style. I can't remember which one of my fittings on the tractor do what, so we're just going to hook these up, and if it works, it works, and if I don't like the way the buttons are, then I'll swap the button functions. Since I don't know how they go, I'm going to cut the zip tie off. So for those of you watching this and wondering, yes, I use Teflon tape on my hydraulic fittings. Teflon tape is a great sealant for hydraulic fittings. There's only one thing you got to be careful about, and that is not to get it. Well, that was worthless. So let's try this again. There's only one thing you got to be careful about with hydraulic fittings and Teflon tape, and that is to make sure you don't get it in the system. So the key to that is to make sure you're not going over the ends. Don't wrap it super close like that. Make sure you stay about one thread back from the end of the fitting. Now you'll see I also wrapped it, if you're looking at it, clockwise. And the reason I'm doing that is as I thread this on and tighten it, I am going with the direction of the tape instead of unrolling it off of the threads, which then could cause it to come loose and go inside. Just leave that there for now, and we'll tighten it in a minute and get the other one done. He picked up a little dirt there. So about one thread away from the end. A few good wraps. When you break it, it gets strings. Don't let those strings go up inside either. Okay, let's just try to get these hoses wrapped up temporarily and see if we can't improve this. These all need straightened bad. I may replace those with something else too. That's pretty hokey setup. Gosh. Now those things just suck not having any swivels. That means those hoses just fight and don't want to go where you want them to go. They're going to go where they want to go. I'm going to have to see if the bucket interferes with those couplers too. I would like to eventually maybe rotate those 90 degrees, or at least maybe 45. But let's bungee it. So this is what I use to try to keep all of my third function hoses up out of the way. It's nothing rigid, so if I need to full dump or whatever and it has to, it could tear it, I don't care. But when I'm coming back, it'll pull it back, gives it just enough flexibility. Alrighty, so let's fire it up and see if it opens. I'm not going to actuate it too much because I have not greased any of the pins. Actuate it a few times, get all the air out. It's looking good, just a little bit of mud in there. Let's see. I think I actually have the buttons the way I want them to. All right, let's take this outside and talk about it. All right, so they called this a 4-in-1 bucket. Why? What is the 4-in-1? So 4 functions. The first function is it's a bucket, right? In the most basic sense, this is a bucket. Now, it's a heavy bucket. This bucket is a lot heavier than my other buckets because it has a lot of things built into it. It has hinges, it has cylinders, it has multiple cutting edges. It has metal that's doubled and tripled up in places. It's heavy. Function number 2. We're going to start it up. Function number 2. It's a grapple. You can use this to clamp onto something just like a grapple. Function 3. Function 3 is this is a Dozer Blade. Tilt it down a little bit more to make it a little bit more realistic. So this is a Dozer Blade. This one still has some lips on the side. Other 4-in-1 buckets are more of the just the back plate. Not real sure if I like this setup yet or not, so we'll try it out. I'm not going to bulldoze like I could with the real bulldozer or anything like that, but if I'm just pushing material in, maybe to fill in a ditch or something's loose, and I'm just kind of scraping along, I can bulldoze. Function 4. Function 4 is back dragging. So you can back drag and cut if you would like. There's a cutting edge here. Or if this was angled up just a little bit, you could back drag, keeping material with you. Or if you would like to back drag and smooth, then we angle down a little bit more and just let it ride on that and smooth out material. So that's function 4. Now, why did I buy it? All of those functions, minus the bucket, I already got covered, right? And I got a kick-ass grapple, so I don't need it for the grapple. The other 2 functions I think would be pretty cool, but here are 2 reasons why I really bought it. You ever been scooping up dirt, moving dirt piles, and you get to the last little bit and you're basically like chasing it around the yard or wherever you're working, right? You can't scoop underneath it. So you get out, you get a shovel, and you're shoveling and piling stuff into the bucket. With this, you can clamshell. That's one of the biggest reasons why I bought this. I'm going to be able to go up to small piles and I can clamshell them and pick them up and reduce the amount of physical labor I'd have to do. So, next reason why I bought it. Let's say I'm spreading material, particularly gravel, and I want to lay out a nice thin layer of gravel. When you're doing that with a regular bucket, you're dumping the entire bucket, you're trying to drive and trying not to leave humps, skip spots. You dump a little bit and then it comes out fast. It's real hard to get it nice and smooth. By opening this up, I can meter material out. I would be able to use this almost like a tailgate on a dump truck where they use the chains, they set the distance that it can come out, and then the gravel will just rest against it and comes out in a nice smooth sheet. That's what I can do with it like this. But now let's close it up, lower it down, and we'll talk a little bit more about a 4-in-1 bucket in general. So is a 4-in-1 bucket right for you? I'm going to say that depends. I am not a huge proponent of 4-in-1 buckets, and I would never recommend one to somebody as their only bucket. And yeah, you may think that, oh wow, if I get this bucket, then it can replace several pieces. Maybe. It's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none type of an issue, whereas using this as a regular bucket is going to drastically reduce your lift capacity. This bucket, once again, is heavy. So this bucket weighs, I think, over 600 pounds compared to, 300 pounds, maybe 250, 300 pounds of a normal bucket. So I'm immediately losing several hundred pounds worth of lift capacity trying to use this as just a regular bucket. How about a grapple? There is no freaking way this is going to get used as a grapple in the most normal use that I would use it for. I am not going to go back in the woods taking this, expecting it to be used as a grapple. I am going to use my EA Wicked Root Grapple for all of my grapple uses. Now, if I have this on and I'm doing some regular dirt work and there happens to be, a large rock, something in the way and I need to grab it and move it, you can bet that I'm going to leave this on. I'm not going to swap this out and go get the grapple. I'm going to open up, grab the rock, go put it wherever I need to, and then call it quits. That is when I'll be using this as a grapple. But there's no way it is going to replace my grapple. If you think about the regular grapples, they're open in the ends, right? So if you're picking up big logs, you can wrap around the log, hold it. This, can't do it. This is all closed off. You have to pinch it, and then that's the only way you're holding it is on the ends instead of wrapping around it. Not a great grapple at all. Bulldozing, or even back drag cutting. Yes, it can work, and I will probably use it for that, but if I'm going to be doing a lot of work with that stuff, I'm going to use one of my rear implements. That's because I'm going to be pulling with the 3-point and using the tractor in the way it was designed. I am not going to, try to really bulldoze material and peel off virgin ground using my loader just by pushing. If I want to do something like that, then I'm going to use one of my 3-point implements, either my grater scraper or my box blade. Would this be right for you as an additional tool? Well, that's only for you to decide. For me, I think it will be, and that's why I bought it. I have 4 buckets, not counting this one. This will be my 5th bucket. I have a grapple. So for regular grapple use, I'm going to use my grapple. I have a box blade. I have a rear blade. I have a grater scraper. I have the tools that I need when I need them to be the right tool for the job and to be the most efficient. I have those tools. I will use this for the scenarios that I was talking about earlier, where I'm doing some dirt work. I want to be clamshelling small piles. I want to meter feather material out in driveways, stuff like that. That's where I think I will use this the most. Now, a few months or maybe even a year down the road, I will come back and do another video, and I'll let you know if I did end up using this or if I am using this the way I planned. If I end up falling in love with it, I'll tell you. If I hate it and sell it, I will tell you. But I'll come back and I'll let you know if my vision turned out to be true. So thank you everybody for sticking around. Really appreciate it. I'm sorry that we didn't get to use it and I didn't get to show you any of its functions in action, but we will do that in an upcoming video. I got to wait for the ground, obviously, to harden up a little bit before we could put it to use. But I would greatly appreciate it if you would do me a favor and leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of 4-in-1 buckets. Do you have one? Do you own one? If you do, what do you like about it and what you don't? If you've never seen one before and didn't know what they did, tell me. I'd like to hear that too. If you think they're crap and a huge waste of time, tell me. I know a lot of people think these don't belong on utility and compact tractors because of their weight, that they're really only more useful in skid steers, compact track loaders, and larger full-size backhoes, and that's fine. These are not built as heavy as those, and I may find out that I don't like it. But I want to hear from you guys. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about a 4-in-1 bucket. Then, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up to let me know you like it. Subscribe, and then hit that bell notification. That way you are notified of upcoming videos. And as always, have a great rest of your day.